Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Queen Questions. Say hi, Braelyn. I have so much in store for you this week, but the main question we're going to be focusing on is how can we advocate for county fairs? Now, I don't want to give too much away, but at the end of this video, there's going to be a really amazing interview and a really cool gift basket, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's get started with the video. First and foremost, the job of every county fair queen is to be an advocate for not only their own county's fair, but for all county fairs across the state of Illinois. For some background info, I'm a political science major at the University of Illinois on the pre-law track. Now, being 3 hours from home can make it a little challenging to be an advocate since I'm not in my home county, but being here at U of I provides me with so many other opportunities. The first question I want to answer for you all is, what is the IAAF? And to do that, I want to read straight from their website. Here we have it. It says, the Illinois Association of Agricultural Fairs is an organization of the 104 Illinois county fairs, the Illinois and DuQuoin state fairs, and the approximately 290 associate members. The associates represent entrepreneurs and vendors supporting the fair industry. The IAAF lobbies legislatively for fair interest. Its newsletter and convention allow for the interchange and sharing of new and creative fair ideas. And the annual convention is held in January and also includes a talent contest, a queen pageant, and a trade show. So maybe you caught the queen pageant. That is what our state pageant is through the IAAF. So because of the link to the pageant and in doing some research, I stumbled upon the IAAF Advocacy Fund, and I wanted to read you what that was. It says, our lobbyist, Bridget Daugherty, has fought successfully to ensure that county fair funding was not cut and that funding was sent to fairs in a timely manner. Although the latest budget that the General Assembly passed included funding for fairs, there is much work to be done to keep county fair funding going. And I think it's important to note this is happening in Springfield. So needless to say, this immediately caught my attention and I wanted to learn more. So to find out more about county fair, state fair funding, along with the IAAF Advocacy Fund, I reached out to Luke Saylor. He actually oversaw both state fairs under Governor Rauner, so he has firsthand experience in that field, so I knew he would be perfect to talk to. He was so nice, and I'm so appreciative that he gave up his time to talk with me. So, Luke, I really, really appreciate that. And fun fact, he was actually the announcer at our county pageant, so this was kind of a full circle moment, but I won't talk much more. I'll let you hear the interview. I know you're going to love it. All right, for our first question, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and how you got here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate the time, Brenna. Very excited. So my name is Luke Saylor. I am the former Illinois State Fair Manager in 2018. And then from 2015 to 2018, I worked on the Illinois State Fairgrounds in a variety of different roles. So when Governor Rauner got elected, I got appointed to serve at the Illinois Department of Agriculture, which oversees our state fairs in Illinois, or Springfield and DuQuoin, and then all of our county fairs as well. So then after Governor Rauner got out, I was looking kind of for another job, and there was an opening here at First Bank, got me closer to home, and I've been here for almost 5 years.
Awesome, we are so excited to have you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, so you mentioned it. Could you sort of describe your experience as the director of both state fairs under Governor Rauner?
Yeah, so I do apologize. I should have said, growing up born and raised in Carmi here, my family farms, so agriculture has always been in my roots, literally. Farming is very important to me. Agriculture is very important to me. The industry is the number one industry in the entire state of Illinois. Very important industry for our entire state. So I was happy to, honored to be able to play a small part in that. So with that, I, kind of took that knowledge and went to U of I at Champaign for school. And after that, started with Governor Rauner's campaign after I graduated, and then once he got elected, I got to kind of ride along with him and go to the Department of Ag. So when I was doing my interview with the governor-elect's office, they were kind of asking like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? How can you help the state of Illinois? And I said, well, I'm very passionate about agriculture. That's my family. That's, I'm third generation, my brother and I. So it was just always something passionate to me. So the Department of Ag was just kind of a natural fit for me. A lot of great people, at the state, a lot of hard workers. So we, so it was great. I was there for 4 years, started off in marketing, and then actually went over to be the non-fair events manager. So the fairgrounds is 366 acres big. So there was events. That's what a lot of people didn't know. There was a lot of events on the state fairgrounds and the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds all throughout the year. So I got to kind of oversee the Springfield operations for a couple of years, and then ultimately became the assistant state fair manager in Springfield. And then ultimately, once my boss at the time retired, I got to be the Illinois and DuQuoin State Fair manager my final year. So had a lot of friends, a lot of wonderful people that helped make it what it is. So it was a good journey.
Why do you think that Illinois County Fair funding needs lobbying in Springfield?
That's a great question. Times are just different. That's a very cliche answer, but in the 1950s, when people came to town once a month, once a week, it was just different. They didn't, and that's 1950s, let alone the late or early 1900s. Yeah. When people really came, they lived in the country and came to the county seat where the fair, once a year. It was kind of a homecoming. So now we just have entertainment at our fingertips. So it's a mindset, if you will, that we have to train people that, hey, you can't move county fairs. They're in a place. So you have to come to this place. Right. And how do you attract that place? Times are different with people are being more health conscious, now. So the days of, although I do love great Courtyards and funnel cakes and everything like that, that's okay every now and then. But, people would rather have salads. It's just the times have changed. So that's why I think funding, that's why I think advocacy groups such as the IAAF and others are so important for our county fair system, but also our state fair systems. Because without people, there are no fairs. Everything costs money. Mm-hmm. So I think lobbying efforts are so important because until our generation and the generations to come after us, get back in that kind of, I don't want to say old school, but that was a tradition for our grandparents that's just kind of gone wayside a little bit. But getting people back to the county fairs and supporting them is how we can best advocate for them.
So follow-up question for that. You mentioned how important advocacy groups are. One of the ones I found is the IAAF Advocacy Fund, but there's very limited information on that online. So I was wondering if you could provide just some more information on what that is and what they do.
That's a great question. I'm actually not as familiar with the I'm very familiar with the IAAF, but not as familiar with the IAAF Advocacy Fund.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, yeah. There's a lot of acronyms there. Yeah. But yeah, so the IAAF is an extremely important organization. It oversees, a fun fact, we have 102 counties in the state of Illinois, but do you know how many county fairs there are?
104.
104, you've done your research, very good. So there's 102 counties, and then there's actually 104 county fairs, and then adding to our Illinois and our Springfield and DuQuoin State Fairs. So a lot going on. Carmine, White County, is one of the latest fairs. Actually, I always hated it because during the state fair, I couldn't come home to my county fair because I was doing my job. So it was very tough. So I had to miss out for a couple of years, but we're one of the later ones. But gosh, I think they start almost as early as, into May. So it's, a busy summer, if you will. So I'm not as familiar with the IAAF Advocacy Fund, but I do know, what their mission is, and that's just to make people aware of what county fairs do in how funding gets distributed. I know they have a lobbyist. She comes to the meetings, and ultimately it's every administration, governor's office is different. Every General Assembly is different. Obviously, it's made up of numerous leaders in the House and the Senate. So it's tough for everyone to agree on everything all the time. So, when people start trying to cut the budget, unfortunately, fairs kind of get looked at. But they're so important for our local economics that they're so needed. So, I don't want to say on behalf of, but for the IAAF, it really is a mouthful. The IAAF Advocacy Fund, it's just a way for them to earn money and to help their outreach efforts.
So we've talked about the need for funding. Where does that usually come from for Illinois County Fairs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every year when the budget is rolled out, all the state agencies kind of put together their wish list, if you will, and they present that to the governor's office, who puts together the budget, and then it's divvied up between the House and the Senate, and they all kind of work on it individually, if you will. So what we call the GRF, it's a General Revenue Fund. Yeah. That's where basically all of, if it's still this way, that's basically all the funds that we earned went back to the General Revenue Fund. And lots of agencies use that GRF to fund their programs, but to also get allocated back from that program. So essentially, just you take the pot of money, it gets all disseminated to this agency, this line item. I mean, everything in the budget is literally line item. So if county fairs and horse racing was, $5 million, you have $5 million to spend. So you've got the 102 counties of the 104 county fairs and expos. You would divvy that money up based on different percentages or however they do that. But most money comes from the General Revenue Fund, GRF. Yep.
Okay, so honestly, I know a very limited amount about the finances of an Illinois fair, Illinois County Fair, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way. So my next question is, where does all the funding go towards?
Yeah, great question again, Brenna. It's kind of a loaded question,
yeah.
If you will. It's fine. It's kind of a loaded question. So, of course, I've been out of the game for several years now, so I don't want to speak out of character. But it's so much of it is from the General Revenue Fund, as we just talked about, but also it's money like the state fair we would make. It's actually funny, when I was kind of preparing for this interview, I was playing with my son, and we have a cabinet in our living room that I had in my Springfield days, and I tucked away a couple of state Journal Register papers, and one of the headlines was, and I forgot I did this story with the SJR at the time, but it was a sailor says, fairs don't work without sponsorships. We relied heavily on our partners, our sponsors, our corporate donors, our excuse me, and then just the people.
Yeah.
We rely on the people. As you know, fairs are outdoor events. So we rely on the weather. There's so many factors that help make a fair successful, and we couldn't do it without the perfect recipe. And that includes the people, the weather, the emergency personnel, the state police. I mean, it's everybody working together for the same mission. So financing is very tough because it is such, it's an 11-day festival for both Springfield and Courtyard. So 22 days each. It's a lot of money. We pay, we bring on so much more workforce to keep things going. We bring on gate workers, and we bring on, entertainment, directors that we have, and artists, and anyone that's been to a concert lately knows that's not exactly the cheapest thing to go to anymore. So it's very expensive to put on said fairs at the state or county level. So it's kind of like farming.
Yeah.
Your input costs are so high, but you really try to, hopefully the output will be even better, and you'll reap that reward. So yeah, it's very humbling, but it takes a lot of people to make things work. Financing is a huge part of it. Just kind of, you and I budget for our personal families and our personal budgets. we can't live, outside of our means. But at the same time, that's kind of how the state operates too, and especially the fair level. You've got to be careful what's allocated to you, but what you bring in too. So it's a lot of watching the numbers.
So besides not being able to control the weather,
Yeah.
what would you say is one of the biggest struggles you've seen for Illinois state and county fairs from your perspective?
That's a great question. One of the biggest struggles, you said?
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Weather, is a major factor, but it's, everyone has different tastes in music and so entertainment to food to crowd sizes anymore. Now that we live in a post-COVID world, there's still some people that don't feel comfortable going to sit in a grandstand with 15,000 of their closest friends. Not me. I love concerts, but there, so it's just a different world we live in. I would say the greatest struggle is the people, and with inflation, right? That we're currently seeing, and this is a world problem, not just an Illinois problem or a Midwest problem. It's truly a world problem. There's only so much that for me and my family, we have a budget amount for the year. There's only so many entertainment dollars that we allocate for our budget. So, an 11-day festival or, even a county fair, a week long, that's a lot of budget that gets eaten up. So I think really the most, like I said, besides controlling the weather, I think the biggest not danger, that's a poor choice of words, but I think the biggest obstacle is the people. The people and how they function just throughout their life, because the fairs are in the summer. There's a lot of, people want to go to the lake. They want to go swimming. They want to go camping, whatever. There's so many opportunities in the summer to go do some things, that cost money, and the fair competes with that. The fairs, I should say, county fairs and state fairs. So it is tough. So I think the biggest challenge is just getting people to come together, but also budget for those county fairs and the events they're putting on along with the state fairs, so Springfield and DeQueen.
So for the last question, we've sort of established that legal advocacy in Springfield is super important. Is there a way for people without a legal education to lobby for their county fairs?
That's a phenomenal question. And as you said, you don't want to have to go to court to fight for something. I think the biggest way community people can, and just everyday citizens can fight for their county fair is by supporting it. For their state fairs, supporting it. We try to keep it family friendly but affordable. So believe me, I know people, everyone wants, you have business, you have to make a profit. You have to. You got to make a profit and show growth. But at the same time, you don't want to rob people either. We understand that dollars are important to you personally as a citizen, and we appreciate when people come and support anything that we do, whether it be, just anything in the community, but especially those county fairs, those state fairs. It really just comes back to showing up and supporting. And that can be said for so many different things. We are so fortunate here in Carmi, especially, that so many wonderful organizations do so many wonderful things throughout the year. And I think we sometimes forget that, our county fair leaders, our fair board directors here in White County, they're our neighbors. They're our friends. They're working on this, all throughout the year to try to put it on for the next year. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money that goes into planning these things. So I think the biggest thing that people can do to advocate is to show up, spend money, spend time, and enjoy being at the county and state fairs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, no, thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. No, it's been great. It's always nice to reminisce about my fair days.
Yes.
So
thank you so much.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I've learned so much just over the course of making this video. And I wanted to know what I could do to help knowing that information. So with the help of some amazing local businesses, I was able to put together a raffle basket, and all proceeds will go towards the Advocacy Fund. I'm so excited to be able to showcase the raffle basket and shout out all the amazing businesses who donated. The first business I want to shout out for donating to the basket is Cornerstone Coffee in North City, Illinois. They donated a $10 gift card to the basket. Thank you so much for doing that. It means so much. You could follow them on Facebook for updates on their menu, their hours, events, and more. And every time I go in, I get amazing coffee, and I'm always greeted by such friendly people and friendly smiles. So even if you don't get that gift card, I 100% recommend going. The second business I want to shout out, maybe a little biased, but it's Braelyn Crochets. She made these two little adorable bees, little set, perfect for Christmas time. She's so sweet, she's so talented. Go follow her on Facebook and Instagram to watch what she makes, and these are perfect decor for Christmas. The third business I want to shout out for donating is Kassidy Elizabeth Co. I absolutely love Kassidy. Kassidy, thank you so much for donating to this basket. She made this car freshie in the scent Night Air, but she also makes pens, cups, charms, key fobs, so many things, and they're all so cute. So go check out her website. It'll be linked in the description, but it's also right there. And go check out her Facebook to go see what all she makes. The fourth business I want to shout out for donating is Hucks, aka Martin and Bailey. They are such a wonderful presence in our community. They're always so generous, and Hucks is my favorite gas station. I try to go to a Hucks in whatever town I'm at. I like exploring new Hucks locations near my college, as strange as that sounds, but they're the best, and they donated so much amazing stuff. Let me show you. First, we have two $25 gift cards, perfect for gas. Next, we have this really cute cup. Last but not least, we have this Hucks baseball cap. The fifth business I want to shout out for donating is the Courtyard here in Carmine, Illinois. I know I've already went Christmas shopping there this year. I did last year too. They have the cutest candles and home decorations. They feel so cozy and homey, and that's why I love them so much. There really is something for everyone there. Go check them out on Facebook to see more of what they offer. But let me show you what they donated. Now, this is exactly what I mean by they have such homey items. Their store, this is a coffee scoop and gift bag that you can put any bag of coffee or scoopable treat in. Next, we have this really cute teacher mug. So if you're a student and you want to give it to your teacher, or if you're a teacher yourself, this is so perfect. The last thing they donated is this premium standard flag. It has a little barn on it. Super cute, super patriotic, and perfect outdoor decor. Again, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you to every single business that donated towards this basket. It's going towards a great cause, and I really, really appreciate your willingness to be so involved. If you'd like to check out any of the businesses that donated items in this video, all of their information will be linked in the description below, and I 100% recommend doing so. They're all amazing. So if you are interested in purchasing a ticket for this awesome raffle basket, you're in luck. One ticket is $2 and 3 for $5, so you get a deal there. All we need is your name and your phone number, and I'll have the link to this post in the description, and my email if you have any questions and wanted to reach out, feel free to do so. This video, along with a giveaway post, will go up on Saturday, December 23rd, and then on Saturday, December 30th, a winner will be drawn, chosen, and announced. So you have a week to enter to get these amazing prizes, and I really encourage you to do so. To end this video off, I just wanted to say I had so much fun, just number one, creating this episode, but also sharing it with you all. In the description, there's going to be my email, there's going to be the advocacy page, there's going to be all the pages of the businesses that were talked about in this video, and I'm also going to link the post to buy tickets to the raffle basket if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I can't wait to answer more Queen questions. Bye!